Hi, my name is David Rippy. I am a certified hypnotherapist. I helped a client, a female in her early 30s, recount a few past life regressions. For those not familiar, a past life regression is where I take somebody into a deep hypnotic state where they can describe with detail previous lives. In this particular recording, she recounts a life living in New England as a boy in the 1700s, where she ended up living with an Indian tribe after her family was sadly murdered. She feels her current boyfriend in this life was her mother in that past Indian life. The client also recounted life in Spain, where she was a male with psychic gifts and helped the royal family with various decisions concerning war and things like this. Follow along as she shares how a guard in that life is her father in this life, and it helps explain some of the trust issues now that she can never pinpoint. In another life, she recalls how her mother in this life was her mother in a cold Eskimo Indian life where hunting was their primary means of survival. She also discussed a life as a highlander with special gifts. The hypnotic induction, which is basically how I bring a person into a deep hypnotic state, was left out and starts at the end of the induction. Enjoy. You might know it could be at a faraway time. It could be near a beach or an ocean, outside of a forest. It could be anywhere. But as you lay there, we count down from 3 to 1. I want you to relax more and more and see with your mind closed. You visualize this chair you're in being surrounded by something else, some other place, some other time. So as I count down to 3, you're allowing yourself to drift down, almost like you're in a dream state. And as we count down to 2, you're drifting down deeper and deeper, finding yourself relaxed. Allow yourself to say, oh, wow, I finally made it back to this place. I feel so relaxed. As I count down to 1, you could feel yourself maybe becoming more acclimated with the place you once remembered. Maybe a place that brought comfort and joy to you. Not a hard life. Maybe had some challenges, but you feel a time. And you can almost feel that beside your golden suit in this chair you're in, you start to think maybe you have a certain type of outfit on. Maybe your hair is a certain way. And as you lay there in your chair, count down to 1, down to 0, you're going to feel yourself almost being able to look down at yourself lying there. And you start to begin to see a person there. Maybe it's you in this life, maybe it's another life. But somebody sitting in that chair that you remember, but you're not quite from sure where yet. But you're feeling letting it get wiser as you stand next to the chair. Maybe you put your hands on it while that person's there. And you're looking around with your mind, your divine eye. Try to see where this chair is. To keep your eyes are closed and that as well. So not only do you picture what you thought was yourself in the chair, now you're separating and now seeing the bigger picture of who's in the chair as you in another life. Looking around, do you see anything? It's gotten less dark.
Yeah, I'm a boy, or like maybe a teenager, and I'm near the coast. It feels like New England or something of that sort.
Okay. And what else?
Or it could be somewhere else, but it's just definitely like a rocky beach kind of coast.
Great. Describe yourself. How old are you? What are you wearing?
I have short, dirty blonde hair, kind of like a bowl cut, but shorter than that, you know. But not long, not like really short boy hair. And I think I'm wearing a tan shirt, kind of tan cotton shirt and pants, or if not pants, like shorter pants or capris or something of that sort.
Okay. And you know your name. What letter do you think it starts with? You look at your mind.
J.
Starts with J. Okay, well, I want you to just sit there and relax in the chair. Kind of remember the images of the boy, maybe some memories flooding back and while you're there. Now, are you near the water in New England or somewhere near there?
Yeah, I'm sitting on grass, but I'm kind of overlooking water.
Okay. Now, do you feel like behind you or somewhere near you is a house or a place you return to and that, where you go afterward?
I'm sitting near a lighthouse.
Okay, you're sitting near a lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you look at the lighthouse, I want you to describe it to me. What color is it? Is it striped or what color is it? Is it white? What does it look like?
It's striped. Kind of.
Have you been up inside it?
I'm outside of it right now.
Right. Have you ever climbed to the top of it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, tell me about that. How high is it when you start climbing inside it?
I mean, at least 50 feet.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, is there a big light at the top of it, being a lighthouse?
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you been there at night when the lighthouse was lit up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, do you live near the lighthouse, or what's your association with this lighthouse? How are you allowed to see it all the time?
I think my family does something with the lighthouse.
Okay.
But I don't feel like the family is around now.
Okay, well, let's look back. Let's kind of sit around by the lighthouse. Maybe walk around, touch it. Put your hand on it again, go inside it if you want. Kind of get really familiar. And while you're maybe put your hand, maybe walking around a circle around this lighthouse, kind of get an idea which direction would you go if you went. Was there a house nearby you stayed at? And what do you see in your mind? What kind of a structure did you return to?
It seems like there's a small cabin.
A log cabin of some sort.
Yeah, like a small cabin.
Okay. Not too far away?
Yeah.
Okay. And was your father, someone in your family, in charge of keeping the lighthouse going?
Yes, but I think there was like a death or something. Like, I feel like I'm alone. Like, I don't know where the family is.
Okay, now how old are you when you're alone?
13?
Okay, now, do you think they died and you were left alone to hang out by the lighthouse? Did you keep it running, or who did that after a death? Was it your father's death?
Yeah, I think multiple members of my family died. Maybe there's some sort of illness or something.
I see. Well, let's kind of look at that life. Kind of be there at age 13.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back a little bit earlier, maybe 11, 12, 10. And we'll go inside the cabin. Can you take me to the cabin?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go outside the cabin. Let's go inside. And first describe to me what it looks like inside.
Really small. I mean, like 2 rooms tops. And there's not very much room. But I
All right,
think there's 4 beds. But it's a small space.
Small, okay. Take me to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What did you cook food on? What does it look like? Describe the stove or
There
whatever.
was like a fireplace.
All right, so you cooked food out of the fireplace, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you have a pot-bellied stove too, or just the fireplace?
A what?
You didn't have a pot-bellied stove or anything like that?
Well, I don't know what that is, but I do see some sort of like rounded structure that is a stove. So maybe that's what you're talking
Okay,
about.
yeah,
I don't
they
know.
call it a pot-bellied, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so it looked like kind of a stand-up stove with made burners on top, and you put coal or wood inside it. Is that correct?
Sort of built into the house, it looks almost like, but it's
Okay.
like a big rounded sort of stove thing.
Okay. So that's interesting. And how many brothers and sisters did you have?
Hmm. 2.
Okay, as you drift out, I want you to visualize them in your mind. And were they boys or girls?
A boy and a girl.
Okay, were they older or younger than you?
Younger.
Now let's go to your age 11. How old were they? If you were 11.
6 and 5.
Okay, so they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's go forward from 11 up to 13 when you didn't feel anybody around, your parents or death. Kind of go up slowly through them. Did they die between your ages of 11 and 13 or earlier?
11, yeah, in that time frame.
Okay. Let's kind of know, don't get emotional. I want you just to kick back and relax. Just like watching an old movie. I think you kind of know that. So as you're kind of viewing that life, I want you to kind of see and kind of visualize your mother. Can you see her in your mind?
Mm-hmm.
And you see your father.
Mm-hmm.
You see your brother and sister.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want you to get emotional, but let's go to that time, and I want you to describe or tell me how they died and what happened.
Oof. I feel like someone came and slit their throats. That's really
Okay.
gross.
Well, that's okay. I mean, let's just carry with the story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to analyze it. We'll just kind of go. Just tell me what you see. So you feel that. Now, how did you get away? How did you not get your throat slit? Were you not in the house at the time when somebody showed up?
Yeah, somehow I was separated. I am not really sure, but yeah, it was them. But I don't know why
Do you
I
think you were
wasn't
visiting
chosen.
a friend? Maybe you just weren't there for the night, perhaps.
Yeah, or I was out collecting something. Like I think it was someone trying to steal things, and so yeah.
Okay. Do you see maybe you went by the lighthouse and they died in the house? Did you come back and find their bodies?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's sad. I want you to drift down deeper and deeper. You're not getting emotional. You have your suit on. You're just looking at the light. Do you see me watching the scene with you?
Mm-hmm.
And what am I wearing this time?
You're wearing just like sort of like whitish, tannish clothes.
Okay. So I look pretty good for New England location.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, you're standing there watching the scene. I want you to see that. Let's go in the house. And we're not going to get morbid or graphic, but when you walked in, who'd you see that had passed or been killed first?
My mother.
Saw your mother. Where was she killed at? Near the kitchen or table or where?
I mean, it's all sort of one big room almost, but
Okay.
it was in the back. It was just directly sort of from the door.
Right there. Okay, so your mother, was she on the left or
Sort
right?
of in the middle.
So you walked up, looked down, there was your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? Now take me to the house. Who did you see next that was killed?
My little brother.
Your little brother. That was horrible. And then who next?
My sister.
Your sister. Okay. And when did you see your father? What do you see?
I don't think he's there actually. Maybe it was him. I don't know.
Well, let's just sit back a little bit and let's just kind of relax. You weren't home at the time,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
And you kind of walked home. You came back after collecting or trying to stop you from stealing stuff. Was it around the lighthouse there trying to steal stuff or where? Did you have a shed somewhere or what?
No, okay, so I think this was actually my father doing it somehow, and I don't know why. Maybe he was just like sick mentally or something, or some sort of brain disease, but he killed my mom and my siblings and then disappeared. Or maybe he jumped off the cliff. I don't really know where he is, but
Okay.
I think he might have done it.
All right, so you came home. You were by yourself. There was
Mhm.
3 bodies in the house.
Yep.
Father wasn't around. How did you go get help, or who came to help you clean up the stuff, the bodies and stuff?
Yeah, I guess I walked into town and told maybe a pastor or something.
And then what? Do you see image in your mind where they sent people out?
Yeah, people came to help me.
Okay, they help put the bodies in is it a wagon or how they do it? Is it a hearse, a wagon, or what was it?
It's definitely not a car. I don't think they're really cars.
Okay.
I would say more of a wooden wagon thing.
Okay. Now, you're obviously probably devastated by this, correct?
Yeah, I think I was mostly in shock.
Like kind of in shock. And you were how old that age, how old were you when that happened? What? Yeah, I'm sure you wouldn't forget the day. How old were you?
12.
And what month was it? Do you remember? Think hard. What letter pops in your mind that they were maybe killed? You just drift down deeper and deeper.
I don't know.
That's okay. So they were killed. It was a. Where do you were up near? Were you living near New England? That's where the lighthouse was, give or take, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you had to look at a map and all the states are there, what state name pops in your mind? Or was it a state? How long ago was this?
It feels like it was a long time ago. I mean, we look sort of like pilgrims or something of that sort.
So, gosh, could we have gone back to? Let's look at numbers. Okay, you ready? I want your mind to go relaxed, and we drift as you drift down, and above like a scene, maybe not the scene, maybe the lighthouse, just that. Because being a lighthouse, obviously they built those, and I don't know how long they put the nice ones up, but kind of because they had a light and all that. Kind of look at your mind. Was it 1800s, mid 1800s, later 1800s? What are your thoughts?
Earlier.
18 before Lincoln.
Mhm.
So you think it was a lighthouse that was up before Lincoln, correct?
It was early. 1700s feels more.
Maybe even the 1700s. You think
Yeah.
that possibly there was a big white lighthouse?
Well, it's
And how
not
did they
really
li-
white. There was red. There was like red stripes or something.
Oh,
on
I'm
it.
sorry. So was it white with red stripes?
Mhm.
Okay. So when you went inside it, was it like like I guess most lighthouses, was a spiraling staircase to the top?
It actually feels more like a really tall ladder.
So not even a spiral. It's more like a ladder you'd have to
Yeah,
climb.
like it's not like super well. It wasn't like a super well done space. You know?
Okay. So an old wooden ladder, you had to get all the way to the top?
Mhm.
Did you have platforms going up at different levels, or was it just straight up ladders?
It was a ladder, but I guess at certain levels there were like platform type things that you could
Okay.
put things or you could sit on or something.
Okay, just tools, whatever they put in. Now, let's get to the top of this ladder.
Mhm.
Let's go on top where the light is.
Mhm.
How do they keep that lit? Do you remember? Because it was before electricity, it sounds like.
Yeah, oil or something. Oil.
So you use some type of oil, maybe? Was
Yeah.
it whale oil, or you don't know? Think
That
hard.
might be it. Yeah,
Does it sound like maybe you got it from some whale, some blubber?
something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
That feels right.
So it wasn't oil, obviously, for the ground. It was something different.
Right.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Now, let's go on. Look at that. It's sad. Did your father ever return?
I think he jumped off a cliff.
Do you think he took his life? And
Yeah.
nobody ever saw him again. Is that correct? Or
Right.
they never found his body?
Yeah.
So they never found his body?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, so he might have gone somewhere. Now, think back, because you know the lighthouse, you know the cabin. It was all cleaned up. We're going to move on, and as you drift down deeper and deeper, I want you to kind of relax, not allow the memories to affect you. And just kind of drift along. How long did you stay by the lighthouse when you were 13? How much longer?
Maybe a few more years.
All right, so you see yourself at 15 still there? Are you still working to keep it going, or what? Did your dad show you how to light it?
Yeah, I'd known for a while, I think.
So since you were young, you felt like you knew how to run that lighthouse.
Yeah, that was like where I lived pretty much. So.
You stayed there a lot. That must have been pretty neat, though. If we look
Yeah.
at some of the nice memories of that life, let's get off the deaths. How big was the water right there? Was it way looking out in the ocean? Must have been quite a view.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I can imagine. You missed going there? Was it very relaxing?
Yeah, there was definitely peace.
Wow. Now, were you on like kind of a side of a cliff, or did it go right down to
Yeah.
a beach? So you're on a cliff.
There's a cliff. Like there's the beach, but that wasn't super close.
Okay, so you had to what? Go down this huge like mountainous
It
cliff
was rocky. Yeah, like a lot of rocks.
and high, or what?
Higher.
50 feet higher.
I'd say 30.
Still big enough you don't want to be falling off of it.
No, yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Now, did you ever get on a boat while you were there? Do you remember sailing around or what?
No, I don't think I got on a boat.
So you had a pretty simple life, man in the lighthouse, not a lot of money in the family?
No, yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. And as you go forward from 13, when did you leave? Were you 16, 17? How old were you? 15? How old were you? When he finally said, I had enough and this guy's going to run it, or what?
After 15, yeah.
Now, did somebody come and you showed them how to run it after you left the lighthouse? Who took over that job?
Yeah, someone from the town decided to do it, and I think they were fixing it and refurbishing it.
Okay, so that kind of gave you an out anyway, right? Okay, nice. Now, at age 15, I want you to drift down deeper and deeper. See your last days, leaving and saying goodbye to the lighthouse. Where did you go from there? Where do you see, if you had to look at a map, where does it look like where that dot would land from that place in New England? Where would you go?
I think I went more north.
Okay, now
I think that could have been like Rhode Island or something, maybe.
Okay, so you think you were in
On
Rhode
the map.
Island.
But I
Gotcha.
think I went more towards Maine or something like
Okay,
that.
so you went farther up the coast, maybe toward Maine. Okay. Now, at 15 on, say this age is 15 to 20, and you see yourself, and does it feel like you're up near Maine? What are you doing up there? What's your occupation?
Must be some sort of thing with tree, like lumber guy or something.
Okay. So it feels
Kind
like
of
you're
bearded and in the woods.
okay. Now, how tall are you now? You think? How much older? How much bigger do you look?
This might be when I'm 20 or 20 something.
Okay, so older, more mature. You see yourself in the woods. You got a beard. Are you cutting down trees and stuff with other people, or what?
What am I doing?
Any odd jobs too you might have had?
I think I met some sort of indigenous people and I was with them.
Okay. Now, do they live out of the woods mostly?
Yeah, it looks wooden.
Were they Indian? Did they fish and stuff off the coast, or they did furs and?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it kind
pretty
of
natural, like live with the land?
right? Indigenous, like live with the land. Were they Indians? Native American Indians? You think?
Yeah.
Okay, now remember, now look at your mind. I want you to relax, drift down. Kind of remember that time, what they looked like. What this group you're with. And I want you to drift down deeper and deeper. And I want you to begin to see maybe where they live, what kind of structures, what they look like. And were they near the coast? And what did they wear? Go ahead and describe
It
what you
was,
see.
they didn't live like on the coast, but water was semi-near. And it was little hut type things. They were
Okay.
very kind. I think when I showed up, I think I was just wandering around. I think I was really in a sad place.
Okay.
And they could see the sadness in me, but they could see that there was kindness and compassion and good. They could see the good, and
Okay.
I think they took me under their wing, sort of.
Good.
Even though I was different from them.
Great. Did you learn a lot from them?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you grow up, and how long did you stay in their culture? For the rest of your life, or did you see yourself leaving eventually and saying, hey, buddy, friends, I'll be back, or what do you see when you got older?
I think I lived there for probably the rest of my life.
Okay. So you felt very good with them, and I want you to go farther into that life while you're living with them.
Yeah, I think I felt, compared to my family that I grew up with, I felt more akin to them.
Okay.
Like I'd never really
Knew your family that
It
well?
was kind of, even though I loved that area, I loved the water and everything, I didn't feel, it was just sort of cold and blank.
Right. Well, that makes sense. Your brothers and sister were much younger than you. You know, there wasn't a lot of friends who hang out. We hung out by the water at the lighthouse, and probably just didn't have all that family type feel around like you did with the indigenous group.
Right, yeah.
So you had that family, found that family that you didn't have, and you grew up and stayed with them and felt very loved. Did you ever get married in that culture? Did you have children, get married to somebody in the tribe, or what?
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, now, when you're looking at that area on a map, okay, I want you to just kind of visualize maybe where you would put that dot. Is it like in Maine, or is it near the Canadian?
If it's not Maine, it's a little bit below Maine, but it seems sort of in that area.
Right there, not super close to the water, what, 50 miles, 100 miles, less?
I would say less, yeah.
Okay, so you could get there, say you had to walk.
Like
2 or
like
3
less than a
days.
day's walk.
Oh, okay, so less than a day's walk, okay.
Uh-huh.
So a good 20 miles or something.
Uh-huh.
15 miles, 20 miles, something like that.
Yeah.
Good. Now, you saved that tribe. Let's go all the way up. Do you see yourself at 65 in the tribe? Or older or not?
I'd say that's probably around then is when I died.
All right, let's go up to about your age when you're feeling older. You start to see images.
67, I think, is when I died.
Okay, well, I want you to continue to drift down as these numbers come to you. Now, you died at 67, you think. Does that feel pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, now, let's look at the year. Let's pick this. Yeah, was it the 1800s? And what year do you think that
I
might
definitely have no idea because I don't think that we talked about that kind of thing. That
So you
wasn't-
didn't really know on a calendar what was
Not
what?
at all.
Not
No.
at all. And not even days of the week.
Not really. No, it was
Okay.
just kind of, you could tell when the moon
was
and the
coming
sun
out.
rise and set.
Okay. Okay. But day to day, nothing far out, and who the hell would know what year or month it was?
Right.
Okay, it was more. Now, looking at that tribe, describe what they looked like, the indigenous tribe or group.
Sweet smiles. They were really kind eyes, dark hair, feathers. What you would sort of see indigenous.
Did they have ceremonies and such?
Yeah.
Did you participate in them and such?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were fun, and did you learn how to speak their language?
Yeah.
Do you look at your mind? How would you say fish in their language if you had to just think of a word? How does it echo in your mind? You see it? There are any words in that language. If you think of anything in your head, it goes, "Oh, I remember this one." Whatever.
Well, when you said fish, I wanted to say like siwa, something like siwa. Siwa? I don't really know.
Well, that's fine. No, you don't have to analyze it. I don't expect you to know the language. We're just kind of see what pops in your head. Nothing's right or wrong. Look at deer. Did you have a word for deer? Or sun or water?
They're not really I mean, I see paintings of it, but I don't know the words.
That's okay. So it'll just drift down deeper and deeper. Did you? So you stayed there up to around your death. You died. You fell at around 67. This is up near New England or Maine? What time of year was this that you passed? Do you remember? What did the weather feel like?
Late summer, early fall, perhaps.
So you think you died in early fall, maybe? And how do you look at your death at 67? Where did you die from? What do you think it was?
I'm thinking it was a heart attack or something with the heart.
Kind of gave out on you?
Yeah, I think there was just still a lot of old grief, and it just took over my heart.
Oh, jeez. Were you sad in your later years?
No, I was happy, but I think it was just sort of repressed grief from I was very content with this life.
But you never really addressed the sad passing of your family, your father's murdering them.
Right, yeah, it was two separate parts.
So you think that was sort of like something you just kind of locked away inside you as a child, a 13-year-old?
Like a box in
or
my
11-year-old. Yeah, you just kind of went forward to this nice life and never dealt with it. But you think, but the memories would still come back to you in your Indian life. Is that correct? Or your indigenous life, the memories of those
Yes.
other murders. And
Yeah.
you think what it would be like if they were still alive, maybe, and I miss my mom. Did you was it like a one big family in this tribe pretty much?
Yeah, it was a nice community, and you never felt alone. Because even if the people weren't there, it was everything was alive. The trees, and there was just so much connection, which was lacking before.
So you could reach out and feel Mother Nature before, you just never really thought about it either.
Right. Yeah, I didn't have those tools with me.
Isn't that interesting? Well, let's go forward even more up to your death. You feel yourself getting ready to die. Was it a sudden death, or did you see yourself laying around for a couple hours?
Yeah, I think my heart had been hurting for a couple weeks or something, and I see someone from the village sort of putting a rock on me or something on my heart, and maybe some herbs around it, and there was just people singing around me, and I knew it was my time.
Okay. I go right to your moment of death when they're singing.
Well,
maybe
my
got
heart
the
does
rocks
hurt.
on you.
Ow.
And what happened?
My heart hurts. Yeah.
And your heart hurt. You felt that heart pain.
Yeah. Ouch.
So right when it stopped, did you see yourself come out of your body? What do you remember? Do you remember seeing your dead body or not?
It was like I came out of my heart, like where they put the rock and the herbs or something. It's like I felt like I came out of that spot. That's very weird.
Isn't that neat? All right, so you came out of there, then what? What do you remember from there?
Just kind of watching everything
All right,
from above, like maybe from a tree or something.
Okay. Well, as you're drifting down deeper and deeper, you feel yourself coming out and looking down.
And I think they could see me, and they were smiling at me.
So you think they noticed your spirit?
Yeah.
Okay, they were glad to see you free of the hurt heart and all that?
Yeah.
Of the hurting heart, I should say. Where'd you go from there? Like after viewing it and, everything's going on, the ceremony, and now it's starting to wind up. Your body's there, now they're going to go, what do they do with your body? What do you remember? They bury it, burn it, what do you remember?
Not bury it. I'd say they burned it. I think that feels right.
Okay, do you remember what they did with your ashes, or they just kind of lay there in the fire?
They made some sort
Or
of
did
like
it not matter to them?
they made some sort of like spiral design with it or something, and they gave it as an offering almost.
Okay. So they took your ashes and made some type of a design out of them?
And then they blew with the wind, and it was an
Oh.
offering to the wind.
Very nice. Do you remember in your mind looking down and seeing that symbol? What did that symbol look like that they drew with your ashes?
It was just sort of a big spiral. A big spiral.
Isn't that something? So kind of a return to life again. And,
Yeah.
and did your culture believe in that? That your soul would reincarnate or what? What do they think happened to your soul when you died?
I think that it was like a return to the earth is what they would talk about. The oneness. Yeah.
So return to Mother Earth. And let's go back to Mother Earth. You saw your spiral, you're viewing it with your eyes as a soul. Bang, the ashes were blown out to the winds. Then where did you go from there? What do you remember? What do you see in your last conscious thoughts?
I think I just hung around for a while.
So you didn't know you could go other places, you just kind of stayed there?
Yeah, I think I stayed there for a while. I didn't really know.
You didn't know there was even another place to go.
Maybe.
So you're like a dead soul, right? Or not a dead soul, but a soul. Kind of walking around there. Did you stay and watch the other members of your village that were still healthy?
I think there was like an older woman, who maybe I did have some sort of romantic thing with, but we were never married. And I feel like she could see where my spirit was, and she told me to like, it's okay, go, or something. And then I think something happened from there.
Okay.
She had gray hair. She was older, definitely older.
And you were kind of seeing her, kind of a romantic relationship, kind of a older woman relationship.
I guess so.
Okay.
If she, oh, you know what? Yes, there's some sort of relationship there, and yeah, but she could see me, and she told me
Isn't that neat?
it's okay to go.
Okay. So when you heard those words, you knew you didn't have to hang out there any longer at the village as a soul.
Yeah.
But where do you see? Let's count down and just relax. Sink down deeper. You were sit down if you like. Sit down, put your back against one of your favorite trees near the village you're at. Kind of, kick back, kind of like you did in Maine, that place you might have gone to on that coast, or not on the coast, but maybe away from the coast, but near the Indian camp, to where you kind of went sometimes to be by yourself. You get kicked back, maybe the moon's up in the trees again, just like it was over the waters. When you're at your lighthouse, your early teens, kind of kick back and close your eyes. Allow yourself to relax.
This woman, yeah, I think that we were like secret lovers, but because I wasn't really from the tribe, we couldn't marry. But there was a lot of love there, and actually, I think that she was Kevin. I think that that was Kevin.
And right, so the boyfriend in your life currently,
Yeah.
you
Was
feel
her.
might have been her in that life. Now let's kind of sit back and just kind of relax and just, it sounds kind of neat. But let's just kick back, and we're going to bring in any spirit guides. Can we bring spirit guides around you in this village? Not here, but around the village with us. Can we do that? So I want you to lean your back against the tree. I'm there. We got a little moonlight coming down. You're a soul. You already passed. You got that lady back at the village. You might be maybe 50 yards, 100 yards away. Leaning your back against a favorite place you like outside of the village by yourself. I'm kind of there, hanging out, kind of taking it all in. And let's think to when you knew that lady as a relationship. And kind of look at this forward this life and kind of put her picture on one side of your mind screen. Kind of put Kevin's on the other. And just kind of see if that actually is a match there. And when you look at her, you can feel that energy of Kevin.
Yeah.
It might have been her.
I think so, yeah.
So you feel pretty strongly this woman.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. This older woman, you was Kevin in another life, correct? And your current boyfriend in this life.
Yep.
Okay. Now, when you first met Kevin, while we're there, I'd rather stay. We're going to stay in this other life.
Mm-hmm.
As you look at her now, you went out now. When she said it was okay to go, when Kevin said it was okay to go, what was her name in that life? Do you remember?
It was like,
Or what did it mean? What did it translate? Kind of give me just a rough Indian sound that you might have said to her when you looked at her to get her attention. You'd say that her name or say this.
I feel
word.
like I would say like Asha. Asha? I don't know.
Okay, so something maybe like Asha. Does that sound? What would that mean? Does it mean anything?
I don't know, but when you ask that, I saw a butterfly. So I don't
Okay.
know if it has to do with like a butterfly or fluttering or something like that.
Okay. Well, let's look at your name. Do you see your name in that line? What do you want your name? What would they call you?
It starts with a J. Like I want to say John or Jonas or Jonah or something.
So you
along
might
those
have brought a name, obviously, from your New England life.
lines. Yeah.
That was still your same name, and it wasn't an Indian name. But you told my name's like John or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? Was it Joshua or John? What feels better? Or is there something else with a J? Think about it.
More like Jonah. More like Jonah.
So you think maybe Jonah might have been your name? Yes or no in your mind?
Yes. If not Jonah, something similar.
Something similar to Jonah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. And did your hair get long in that tribe when you were there growing up, or did you cut it off, or how'd you grow your hair after that?
Yeah, I did have it long.
So did you have like feathers in your hair too, or put paint on your face like an indigenous, or not? Did you adopt their lifestyle? Did you change from your
My hair
New
was
England
braided.
roots? Okay.
I had sort of like beads or berries or something in my hair.
Okay.
Like some of it.
Gotcha.
I don't see paint on maybe mud, but not paint on my face.
Okay. Now, were you guys running around in loincloths, or what did they commonly wear to say summertime? Well, not in the winter, obviously. You probably dressed up more, but did you wear their outfits?
There was more than that because it was like not warm enough for loincloths.
Okay, it was too cold.
Yeah.
Did you say you wore furs and things like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just like anybody you might expect.
Mm-hmm.
What did you have weapons? What kind of weapons did you have in your tribe? Do you have any guns at all?
I don't see a gun.
Okay, so more bow and arrow, spear.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Spear,
horses? No horses.
Might be one or two, but not many.
Very few. Were they hard to get?
I think so. I'm seeing more of a donkey than a horse, though.
Oh, maybe you got a donkey or something up there.
Yeah, perhaps.
Did you ever see many white men or people live in your area? Were there a lot of them coming up and down in wagons or what?
I think where we were was a little more remote. Every once in a while, yes, and there was good relation there. It was okay, but it was more remote, and they kind of didn't bother.
You would trade with them sometimes? Furs for like coffee, tobacco, sugar, or what?
Well, we could grow tobacco too.
Did you guys grow tobacco?
Well,
I
mean, my logical mind says that maybe it's too cold to grow tobacco there, but
Well, you think you might have grown some? We grow it here.
I mean, tobacco is
Yeah.
important to that
Okay.
culture.
And I would not be surprised because,
Mhm.
we grow it here in Pennsylvania, obviously the Amish
Right.
do. So, and I'll tell you what, we've had plenty of cold winters. So,
Yeah.
as long as that growing season's long enough, you start early enough, and, they might not be, I don't want to go down a tobacco dissertation here. It might not be, or tobacco, but, it might not be like North Carolina where the growing season's longer, but they can still grow some form of, maybe a smaller plant or something. But let's go on. And you see yourself smoking homegrown tobacco?
Yeah,
There's-
but not smoking is like as a
I guess-
activity. It was more like in ceremony.
Okay, so you could just sit around and puff on a pipe when you wanted to, huh?
It was more as an offering.
Okay. Was the Indian tribe, and you said, if you had to look, you said maybe before Lincoln, is that correct?
Unless I didn't know who Lincoln was.
Who the president was? Okay, does it feel like 1820s, 30s, 40s, or what would you stop it at if you had to pick a time?
I think it's earlier than that.
Late 1700s, 1780, who knows?
Yes, late 1700s sounds like that's possible.
Okay. So if I had to pick a date, let's call it 1793. Does it feel before or after that?
Before.
Before 1793. What about 1765?
I'd say it was like 1780s.
So it feels like maybe in the 1780s. Okay, can you nail it down to 87, 82, or not?
Not really, because I didn't really know the years.
You didn't know the
and
years, just
stuff.
like we learned. Yeah, you didn't have a regular calendar, obviously.
Right.
So maybe the 1780 sometimes, what it feels like. Okay. Now, if we had to look, did you ever do a lot of, what did you live on? Did you have berries in the woods? Did you hunt mostly, or what?
Yeah, we lived off the land, animals, berries. We would grow some things.
Okay. So you're in the woods, you're sitting by the tree,
Mm-hmm.
going back. Asha, does she seem like it was Kevin in a past life?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, let's go forward. What am I wearing at this point?
You're like in this cottony tan white thing.
So I would change my outfit.
Nope, you're still in the
So
same
you
outfit.
braided your hair, put on mud, some berries in your hair, and I stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're just checking. All right, so as we go forward past that life, dust has been blown. The circle of life is now, all your ashes are out in the winds. I want you to drift down deeper and deeper. And in that life, you kind of walked around for a while and probably didn't know you could go somewhere else because you didn't know of anything else. You didn't believe in anything outside of maybe. Did you believe in a great spirit? Did they teach you about him in your tribe?
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about that. What did you learn about great spirit?
It's all encompassing. I mean, it was more just you acknowledge all that is. Everything. Everything is a blessing. Everything is important, and it's all interwoven together. There's a lot of nice stories. That's how it all works by stories. Tons of storytelling.
Okay. So you enjoyed, did you sit by the fire and listen to them sometimes?
Yeah.
So you really adapted to this, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Empowering in a sense, somewhat. And
Yeah.
learning nature and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you see yourself getting sick much, or were you pretty healthy through that whole existence, besides the heart at the end?
I think I had heart problems my whole life.
Okay.
I think that it wasn't new, but it was just getting worse at that point.
So you think it's something you might have had genetically, perhaps, correct?
It's quite possible.
Okay, so I kind of brought it to that life. Did your heart look back at age 11 or 12 or 13?
Yeah, because even then in the beginning when I was sitting there, my heart hurt.
Your heart still hurt, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's kind of look at that. Just kind of relax. You're drifting down. I want you to begin to leave that life.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have this nice little bubble come back, and I want you to get back inside it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to start to drift away. We're going to kind of just drift away. And basically, what drift away is that soul. You're leaving that life. You're drifting down deeper and deeper. You're feeling the memories of that life starting to fade away in the past. Almost like you see a slow motion turning page of the book of your life. And as that page turns, you're going to drift down deeper and deeper. And you begin to go along, and it's not like you almost in your mind visualize a large book with an old-fashioned script, and it's almost like the pages have turned. And I want you to sit there, and that bubble's almost going to land on that next chapter, maybe that life between lives. And as you drift down deeper and deeper, I want you to relax. That life is in your rearview mirror now, just fading away, kind of disappearing from your mind. And as you drift down deeper and deeper, you're feeling more and more relaxed. Feeling energized, just allowing yourself to continue on the journey. Kind of like exploring the book of your life as you drift down deeper and deeper. And as you drift down, I want you to continue along, drift down in your bubble, feeling guided along by like angelic hands and spirit guides. As they take you almost to the next story. And as you drift down, I count from 3 to 1. You're going to feel yourself being able to see this craft being set down very gently. Hovering about a foot off the ground so lightly. And you're laying inside so just relaxed. Just kind of waiting for the go-ahead to go ahead and disembark. And as we count down to 2, you can feel yourself just kind of gathering all the energy back. And you still feel that golden light and that purple light inside this pod. You can feel, it's almost like energetic. You feel it kind of going through your soul. You're seeing, you look down at your left leg, you see all the red is gone, all the pain from the nerve is gone. You feel the sciatic nerve pain disappear. And as you set the craft down, we're going to open up the hatch. And you're going to feel yourself being kind of helped out. You're going to stick your hand out as you step outside. We might have some angels or spirit guides helping you out of the crap. And I want you to drift down as we count down to 1, drifting down deeper and deeper. And you're feeling all the pain leaving your left leg. Because we want to go that time right before that leg hurt. And maybe in that other life, perhaps, if there was one, to where you can see that moment of trauma. But I want you to go about 5 years before that. And your leg, and you see in your mind's eyes, you're drifting down deeper and deeper. We count down to 1. Drifting down deeper and deeper. And I want the angelic hands to kind of help you outside. You're staring almost at another huge screen. It's very pretty and beautiful. And the angel's going to be with us, and I'm going to be with you, and we're going to walk forward toward the screen, which is only about 25, 30 feet in front of us. So as we walk forward, taking one step at a time, you're looking at the screen. There's really not a lot on it, but you see energy and vibrations going through it. Almost like you're going to step into another time, another place. Almost like time travel. And as we walk toward the screen, who besides me is with us? You see anybody else, any angels or spirit guides?
There are other people, but they can't make them out just yet.
Okay, but you can feel maybe their presence. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's you and I walk up toward the screen. And we're just kind of standing outside. I'm going to count from 3 to 1. When I count from 3 to 1, you're going to feel yourself start to walk through, almost like you're walking through plastic that almost forms your body. You pass through it like a membrane. I'm going to count down from 3. We're starting to enter through the screen. 2, we're halfway through it. 1, we're coming out the back side of it. I want you just to stand there. And you can sit down on whatever surface it is. You know, maybe sit down, you know, put your arms on your knees, whatever. Just kind of relax. I want you to drift down deeper and deeper. And as you're sitting there, we can even put up nice chairs again. We're going to have a nice chair. I want you to sit in it and just relax and kick back. Allow yourself to feel all the lights. You still have your golden purple suit on. It's always going to be underneath invisibly whatever outfit you're wearing. It's sort of just part of your skin. And it's healing all the nerves. And as you drift down deeper and deeper, we want to go to that time, because now your hip, you don't feel it hurt now. But you know what's ahead of us as you look out in the environment. There's going to be a time coming up. Well, I don't want you to get emotionally involved.
I'm not, but I can tell you what's going on.
Go ahead.
It doesn't feel like it's England. I think it's maybe Spain. I'm in sort of a royal. I'm not royalty. I think I'm not necessarily a servant, but some sort of person that comes in for a purpose of possibly the Spanish royal family or someone of that sort. And right now I'm favored, but I think what happens with the hip is something happened and they beat me really hard, and it was mostly in that area. They like stomped on me and hit me and like broke my legs and stuff.
So okay, well let's kind of just sit back. You said you're not getting emotionally involved.
Nope.
It's just like watching a life. We know it's in our past. So let's go to that time. And when you think back, how old were you? What did you look like? Were you male or female?
Male, in my 20s or so.
Late 20s.
Dark hair.
Okay, you look Spanish, I guess.
I can only really see my back right now, but
Right.
possibly.
But you feel maybe you were Spanish.
I
is
think
that correct?
Spain. I think Spain.
Now,
Or if not Portugal, or something like some sort of royal family.
now, were you in this family or friends with them or what?
No, I came in. Maybe I was like okay, maybe I was gonna say jester, but I'm not a jester. I come in for maybe they get knowledge from me. Might be psychic abilities that I come in for, or
Okay.
some sort of astronomy. I tell them some sort of knowledge, and they didn't like it at the one point, but they liked it before.
I see. Very interesting. Well, let's just kind of look at that life. And you're standing there, and I want you to look around. Do you see any type of structures? Take me inside where you might have told them about some of your visions or prophecies.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful, regal, reddish, maroonish fabric and gold, and very ornate looking. Marble floors or some sort of nice floors. tall
Okay.
ceilings, echoey kind of, but warm, like a lot of warm, regal fabric.
Okay, so it sounds beautiful.
It's definitely beautiful.
Okay.
Definitely rich.
So you were you were consulting. Do you see yourself consulting with the royal family on some of your predictions?
Yes.
Were some of them involving finances or wars, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that I predicted things. I had some intuitive ability, but they wanted a lot from me, and it got to be a lot of pressure. If I were to say the wrong thing, they were not happy.
I see. So they were pressuring you for predictions all the time, almost.
Yes.
And one time, tell me, did you have a bad prediction that came wrong? What was that prediction?
I think I was right, and they didn't want to hear it.
Okay. So you might have been right in that intuitive call. Do you feel, now I want you to visualize yourself in that body now, observing, looking out through those eyes, okay? You're not just viewing from a distance, you feel yourself kind of coming into there. And I want you to feel, what kind of psychic or intuitive skills did you have? Can you see dead people? Can you hear things? How did you get your information?
A lot of it came through dream time, but I would also just know. I knew.
You just knew.
And I think that they found out about me when I was younger, and the town talked about me, and so they brought me in.
I see. So then, did you grow up with their household, or outside of it, or live with your family, or where did you live?
I think I lived near or in the castle type thing, whatever this palace, for probably at least 10 years.
So maybe about 10 years. Now, how old are you when they first had you in and said, what do you think? And what was your name in that life? Do you remember? Think about it. What would they call you?
It's Jane, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, let's look back in time. Well, if you walked down, this is like maybe Spain, were you near the water, or where were you?
I don't think the water was far.
Okay. Did the king or the royal family have any boats, and did you ever see them?
I think I mostly just lived in the palace and really never could leave. But it definitely felt like there were boats.
Okay, so you felt you were sort of not quite a prisoner, but you knew you better not leave.
Right. I wasn't I mean, it was a privilege to be able to do that, but I was also stuck in my position.
Right, so you ate well, you never starved, correct?
Right.
Now, did you have nice clothes and fabrics while you grew up too?
Yeah, I mean, it all looks very, like, deep, royal colors, very nice fabrics. Beautiful.
So, how old do you think you were when you were brought here? When you first moved in? When was that?
Like teens.
Okay.
Teens, maybe.
Now, did you leave your parents in some village? Okay.
Yeah.
And they stayed in the village behind, is that
Yes.
correct? Were you able to get them money or anything?
Yeah, that was part of the deal, is I would get money and I could give it to them so they could subsist.
All right, so you took care of your family and lived pretty well yourself.
Right.
Now let's go up to when you feel. What was the prediction you gave them? You still remember it, to where they just didn't like your advice, and you said whatever, and they hurt you. Tell me about that. What was the decision? Do you remember? What information did you share that they eventually didn't like?
I mean, it had to be something about travel, maybe finding new lands, something along those lines. A mishap with things, or trusting people with that.
I see. Okay. Now, did you give them advice about lands and what? They lost some ships in a storm, or what? What happened?
Or I think I said not to trust certain people that were involved in it, and they didn't believe me.
I see.
Because I could feel like the energy of those people involved. They weren't good.
Okay.
But they didn't want to hear it.
The royal family didn't want to hear it.
Right.
Gotcha. So you shared that, and then what? The king had the guards beat you up, or what? Who stomped
Yeah,
on
I
your
think
leg?
I started speaking my mind too much. I think I started saying who's not good, and I couldn't do that there. It was you can't really speak your mind, and I started speaking my mind, and they thought that that would be too much. It was too much for me to speak my mind.
I see. So then what? They had you beat up by who beat you up or who hurt your leg?
Yeah, some of their guards just really, really beat me.
And they just did that when the leg fell at the worst after a while, like it got kicked in the most or what?
Yeah,
Or is
they
that
like
the
I
only-
was pretty much they beat me to
almost death?
almost death. Yeah.
So as you're laying there, and you felt your hip and leg was broken, maybe?
Yeah, it was just all that whole my back, lower back, that whole area was all
Oh.
sorts of mangled.
So the lower back hurt as well, and you
Mhm.
feel that pain up and down your lower back, correct?
Mhm.
So in your mind's eye, you feel and see maybe saying, "Hey, you know what? This pain in my leg and back, I think it was related maybe to this slide." Do you think there's a connection there?
Yeah.
All right, let's release that pain now. It's just you're looking at it like a movie, and you grimace while you still see those scenes, okay? But the more you play this recording, visualize that scene. I want you to visualize kind of that pain drifting out with each scene. Like every time you hurt your leg, you see golden light coming to it. You know, as you visualize maybe them doing it, okay? Until you're laying there, and you feel this golden light while you're laying there taking away that pain. And you're, what did they do? Did they lock you up after that, or what happened to you?
Threw me on the street.
So you were left there broken and crippled on the street, is that correct?
Yeah.
And how old were you, do you think, at that time? Roughly.
Late 20s.
Okay. Now, as you're laying there, were you able to make it back to your parents' house, or what was the deal with all that? Where'd you go?
Someone started giving me some water. They saw I was really injured and they gave me water.
Okay.
I don't know if I went back to my parents. I think I was too ashamed.
To go face them again because the money stopped and everything else. Huh?
Right, and because it was an honor
And they
that
probably,
I was in the
it was an
house.
honor, and they
Yeah.
probably wondered why the hell did you speak up so much, right?
Right,
So you could never convince them that was the right thing to do.
right. Like I think that they just thought I had died and that's it.
Okay, so you didn't go back.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see your life from late 20s on after that? What happened to you? What do you see? Tell me how you died. You can share it. Don't be afraid.
I regained my health from that, but I was definitely crippled.
Okay.
Um,
So did your leg and your sciatic nerve and back still hurt then? Afterward?
yeah, I was like walking. I was just sort of walked with a limp and things of that sort.
Okay.
Um,
How long did you live in that life, do you think, from the late 20s?
yeah, about 10 more years.
All right, you're on the streets in Spain. If you had to pick a city, what would it be if you had to see a city in your mind? What do you think it was?
I want to say Barcelona, but that might just be me
Well,
knowing places in Spain.
Right. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll think about it later. Do you remember the royal family's name? What was her last name? How would you pronounce it?
Something with an M, maybe?
And then what would be the second letter?
M. I don't know after M.
Okay.
M.
So something with M that pops in your head, just let me know.
Mhm.
It's like Jeopardy. So as you're there, you see yourself growing maybe another 10 years. And what did you do? Try to work odd jobs from the late 20s to when you died? What were you doing?
I was a wanderer. I wandered.
Okay. So you still thought you had a gift, psychic abilities, right? You
Yeah.
still had that. Did you help? Did you still give fortunes occasionally, or what? Like a
Yeah,
bee-
that's kind of kept me. That's what kept me sort of alive. I would find people that I was meant to find on my path, and they would help me. And I would, in exchange, I would give them information they might need.
Nice. Now, looking at that life, do you see anybody in that life that might relate to you in this life, or no? Any like, well, you know, maybe that person was there. Like anybody, any friends or anybody, family that pops in your head that you might have seen in that house, or related to you, or not really?
I think my dad was one of the guards. My dad in his current life was one of the guards that beat me.
Okay. And that could be possible.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's look at that a little closer. I want you to kind of see the guard in your mind and picture your father in this life.
Mhm.
Can you see that connection that maybe
Yeah.
he was one of those guards?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how's your father's relationship in this life?
With me?
Correct.
There's love, but we don't have a deep connection.
Do you feel maybe that part of that goes back to this life, maybe, where you just have a hard time trusting him?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we know we can let go of that. That was a life he played, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we can feel more trust. Has your father ever broke your trust in this life, but you've always had this deep, deep-rooted concern about trusting him, but there's nothing
Right.
really to pinpoint on that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's kind of look at that in this life and see if you can release that and how you act toward him in this life, where you feel deep in your subconscious, well, I don't know if I can trust him all the way. But you don't know why. Maybe because it goes back when he was a guard. Do you think that might be related?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I always put a wall up.
Isn't that interesting? So that might have a lot to do with that Spanish life, to where he might have beat you. Maybe he didn't want to.
Yeah, I think he just did what he was supposed to
Right,
do.
because he would have been beaten maybe if he didn't carry out his orders,
Right.
which is sad. But remember, in that life, even though it is a terrible tragedy, he wasn't related to you.
Mhm.
And now in this life, he said he'd take maybe the role as your father
Mhm.
to try to make up for that and provide for you like he couldn't then.
Right.
Do you feel that at all?
Mhm.
Think that's a possibility? That's
Yeah.
why he got this life now, this time around, as your father?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you might want to feel that maybe when I look at that wall, maybe look at it like a cinder block wall, and remember this Spanish life, and go, you know what? Until he gives me a reason not to really trust him, I'm not going to have this wall up. And don't build that wall up if it doesn't really exist in this life. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Try to look at this life and the Spanish life and say, you know what? I feel maybe that connection to where he might have been one of the guards. I kind of feel he was. But he hadn't really given me a reason not to trust. Maybe he's here to atone by being your father in his life, okay? So maybe look at it that way and try to bring that wall down some. And see if that helps. You'll realize, you know what? I spent umpteen years of my life not trusting my dad. I never had a real reason for it. And now I feel I might have a reason. It was linked to some other time.
Yeah.
Okay? So kind of think of that in your mind. And as you go forward, and you died at 38, you made a living, getting around telling some fortunes. People crossed your path, took you in for a while, fed you, you helped out maybe a little bit. You just kind of see that over that 10 years.
Mhm.
So let's get toward 38. You get closer. You're not getting emotional. What do you look like at this stage? How tall are you? Are you still limping, obviously? And what else?
Average height. Yeah, there's a slight limp. I wear some sort of hat or cap or something.
Okay.
Um,
What does it look like? A little bit.
Purplish blue, darker, like a darker thing.
Okay, you like your cap.
Yeah, and I think that I passed because of some sort of intestinal worm or disease or something like that.
So in that life, you still had conscious and psychic skills, right?
Yes.
You still felt intuitive. What did you believe in that life spiritually? Did you have any beliefs? Or what did you think, based on your, was it a deep belief because of your psychic skills, or did you still not really know that these things, answers just popped in your head when you needed them? Did you believe in God, or you don't remember?
I think that there was sort of a religious background, and that was sort of overarching. But the psychic abilities, that was okay too. I mean, it all just
kind of melded together.
Yeah.
Didn't really draw the line anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say you grew up Catholic? Do you remember your parents being part of the church?
There's definitely a church. I would say most likely Catholic, but I don't know.
Right. Did you remember going to church with your parents before you moved into the castle in your late teens or mid-teens?
Yes.
Okay. Was Jesus on a cross within this church? Look around. What was pretty inside there? Stained glass windows or what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was a nice church, not as ornate as the castle, though, I guess.
Well, I think we went to a very simple church, but I think I was looking at the castle, like the church with the castle.
Okay, that was pretty fancy.
Yes.
Pretty neat, pretty beautiful, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. So mid-20s, late 20s, all of a sudden you're getting this. You start your stomach starting to feel like God, there's something freaking wrong down there.
Yeah, it's like a rock or something.
Okay, you felt something like a tumor growing in there, or a parasite, whatever. Now let's go to your moment of death. Were you in bed, or did you die on the street? Where did you die?
I'd met someone in my travels, and they knew that I wasn't well, and they cared for me as I died. I was like in a hut or something.
Okay, nice.
Or like in a small house.
Nice. They kind of helped you, took care of you, gave you something to drink or eat.
Yeah, water. They like poured water and they wiped rag on me and.
Well, that nice because you were in good shape. Do you remember the pain? Did it just hurt? You just felt like hell or what?
Yeah, it was just a lot in that area.
So not only the stomach, your back was still killing you, your legs still killing you. You just were racked up at this point. Is that correct?
Well, I think the back and the leg stuff, I would do something to help heal it. Like maybe I would send energy to it, or there's something like I did some sort of psychic something to help it, so it wasn't horrible.
Okay.
Really, it was more the stomach thing is what was bad at the end.
So if you remember with your psychic skills, you almost had an ability you felt to like reach out like in a Reiki type way and help heal people.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever help somebody, or did you say, you know what, I know why that hurts?
I think I mostly did that for myself.
Okay.
It was more intellectual knowing for others.
Okay. Interesting. So as you're getting ready to die, you're in that hut. Maybe somebody's wiping your forehead. You're kind of drank your last water and said, hell, I don't even know if I want any more water, even though, I'm dehydrated or whatever. Take me to that moment of death. Just kind of see what you remember about the hut. Did you see yourself out of your body? How did that work?
Yeah, it seemed like it came out pretty quickly. Like a fast slither, if you will, from my spirit from my body.
Did it look like it's light or a snake or smoke or what?
Yeah, kind of like a big snake.
I see. Was it a certain color? What did it look like?
It was just sort of like silvery mist.
Okay. Now when you came out, did you like turn into a form and stand there staring at your body, or where'd you go from, what happened after that? When you saw yourself slither out and you're just floating there in space.
Kind of like an amorphous cloud.
So you feel like you're inside the hut still, looking down at your dead body?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're like this gray amorphous cloud
that
you remember. Okay. How long, was somebody there with you looking at your dead body while you were dead, or what?
Well, there was someone that had been wiping my forehead.
Right, male, female. Who was helping
Female.
you? Was she a nice person?
Yeah.
Okay. She took you in. Was she older, same age? Who knows?
A little older, I think.
Okay. Could you see a relation with her if you didn't die, maybe, or who knows? Or do you like her?
I think it was more friendship.
Okay. So you were there. You came out of your body. She's wiping your head. She might not even know you died right at that instant, correct? Did she notice you coming out, or she did not want to even know where you were dead?
I think she knew I had died, and she started like praying.
Okay, nice. So you're staring at her praying over your dead body. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as that amorphous cloud, what do you see next? Kind of tell me what you remember.
I went up, out of the room, out of the hut, into the sky.
Okay. And where did you go in the
stars.
sky? All the way up to the stars? Okay. And tell me what you saw there. What did it feel like?
Just open, expansive, like freedom. A lot of freedom.
How'd you feel? How'd your soul feel at that point?
Happy, really happy to be free.
And all the pain was gone?
Yeah.
Did you feel more wise or alert, or did you know your other lives at that stage or not?
Yeah, I think all of that came back to me.
Came back pretty quick? All right, let's go from there. You're floating out in the stars. You're having a ball. Kind of seeing old familiar stars, I guess, when you came out. Did you return to places you might have gone to other times when you passed away, like they were familiar to you? Like, where did you go? Where did you return to after the stars?
I mean, right now I'm in the stars, but
Take me to the end of the stars. What do you see?
there's some sort of land and like a hut thing, but it feels like it might be space, somewhere in space.
So it doesn't feel like Earth.
I don't think it's Earth.
Okay. Does it feel yes or no in your mind, third dimension or a different dimension?
Different dimension?
Okay. Now describe it. I want you to stand there. You can sit down if you feel a little like you need to recharge your energy a little bit, to relax. There's a nice chair right there. I want you to just sit down, kick your head back, kind of relax. Drift down deeper and deeper. You're in another chair similar to what you're in now, but you're on another place, a higher dimension. You're relaxing down, eyes are closed. You're allowing yourself just to kind of acclimate where you come back to. I'm going to sit in the chair next to you and just kind of kick back and just check it out myself. And as you're laying there drifting down deeper and deeper, I want you to relax and tell me if something comes to your mind where you think you are. Maybe who's around us, if there's anyone besides what's going on in this hut.
I don't know, the hut kind of disappeared and I just feel like a silvery lake type thing.
Okay, right in front of us?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now, can we get up from the chairs and take a few steps toward the lake?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's walk toward the lake.
It's like Mercury or something. Not the planet Mercury, but I mean, it's like a silvery liquid.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now it sounds pretty cool. Like, does it have like magnetic properties or?
Yeah, I think you go in it and it realigns everything.
Okay. Well, tell you what, let's do. Can we jump in it to see?
You don't jump in it, you step into it. But yes.
Okay. All right, let's walk down toward the edge of it if we can. Now I'm going to take a chance of going it myself. And I want you to walk into the lake and step into it like you normally would.
Uh-huh.
And then tell me, once you go, do you go all the way underwater?
Yeah, and then that takes you somewhere else.
All right, I want you to go under the surface. I'm going to follow along. So go down deep into this silvery lake as far as you want. And as you're there, say you put your arms out, your eyes are closed, obviously you're just kind of floating there. Kind of your arms out to your sides, just relaxing under the surface of this material. What does it feel like under there, under that silvery lake? What does it feel like? What does it feel like touching your skin under there, your soul skin?
It's soft, kind of. But vibrant. It's soft and vibrant.
Okay. Now, is it helping you re-energize a little bit, or is it just relaxing?
It's it helps to just realign everything.
Okay. So does it realign your chakras and everything, or all your meridian points?
Your whole system, yeah. And to help integrate whatever you previously experienced, too.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of integrating that into files or memory banks where it should be?
Yeah.
That information's put it all in order?
Ooh, I think that it actually also records whatever. It's like a recorder.
Okay.
This material is a recorder.
So is it kind of taking the information from your mind and consciousness of that life?
Yeah, it's from your auric field and all of that. It's just like all of whatever you learned downloaded into this material.
Wow. Sounds pretty neat. So now do you go here often to download your last life material or experiences, or how's that work?
Yeah, I'd say not every life, but sometimes, yes.
So it's just one more of a mini place you go to maybe drop off some information or whatever.
Right.
Or download, okay. Now, it also energizes you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you feel very happy, you feel very relaxed. How long do you stay in this silvery lake? I mean, I know it's after the information from your last life is probably downloaded. Where do you go after that and you're energized? Where would you go?
Oh, I'm like shooting through something right now.
What does it feel like? Is it like a wormhole, a portal, a tunnel, what?
Yeah, but it's fast.
So it's super fast.
Uh-huh.
Now, besides me, kind of trying to keep up with you, is there anybody else around us? You feel the other presence? They make out forms now or not? Or is this a singular journey?
There's other energies. I don't know the forms, but I just feel the energies are on me.
All right. So let's go through. Is it like a glowing tunnel? What does it look like inside? What are you shooting through? Kind of describe what you feel.
It's like I'm running through it, but it's like sort of the stars. Everything's moving really, really quickly.
Wow.
From the front to the back, like shoom, shoom, shoom.
Okay. Pretty cool. So you're kind of running through space at super light speed or something.
Yeah.
Isn't that neat? How fast do you think you're going? If I just say in light years.
Oh, I don't even know, but it's
Do you think
fast.
you're going twice the speed of light? Maybe think of a light bulb coming to the room. Was it faster than that? You think?
It's really fast. It's like, shoo.
Like the stars are ripping by you so fast, it feels faster than the speed of light.
It's very fast.
Okay. Now let's go through that as you're ripping through this speed. And I want you to take me to where you're going. When I count from 3 to 2 to 1, as I count down, you're going to feel yourself, not quite at the end, but starting to slow down, because it's like a train coming into a station. You feel yourself starting to get closer to a destination you've been waiting to go back to. As I count down to 2, you can feel yourself connected as you're ripping through this tunnel of light or whatever. You're getting closer and closer to where you're going. As I count down to 1, you're getting closer and closer. And all of a sudden, you're there. And I want you to step out of the inside of this cool, either escalator or treadmill, fast speeding like tunnel. And tell me what's on the other side of this. What do you see?
I see white feathers, softness, and a turtle.
All right, so you see a little turtle.
Yeah.
Does it look like a box turtle? What kind of turtle?
It's a bigger turtle.
Like a Galapagos?
Not quite that big. Smaller than that.
Okay. And what's he here to meet you? Is he a spirit guide or who is it? What does this turtle have to do with you?
It's so there's a turtle and a toddler or a young child, and the child is like playing with the turtle, but it's like I'm both of them at the same time.
I see. So on its other side, it might be showing you like a facet of a life you had as a child and a turtle.
I guess so, but it's
that
like
what it
the
feels
same
like?
thing. But it's like I'm both people.
Like you've separated into these two different beings.
Yeah.
Or energies, and you're living life as a child playing with a turtle, but you're both of them.
Yeah.
Isn't that neat? Now, if you had to look at your color of your soul, what color do you feel you give off? If you had to radiate, look down, and say, you know what, I feel like this. Is there any color you feel you resonate with more now? Like in this life?
I don't really see the souls, but like the room is white, but there's like a lot of pinkish. There's like a pinkish glow, but I'm not seeing the souls.
So it's pretty. Is that heart energy, or what's the pink represent?
Yeah, it's just like a sweet, sweet, loving energy.
Okay, so it's very nice.
And it's like, and it feels angelic. There's like feathers. I don't really know. It's just.
Well, as you're standing there, you see a child there. Do you see how you look, or you look like you do now, or how do you look as you're viewing the child, the turtle? What form do you have?
I feel like I'm amorphous. I don't really see myself. I feel like I'm them, but I am watching them, and I can't see myself.
All right, so you're more just like a divine consciousness looking at them. Okay.
Yes.
And how do I look if you look over at me? Am I still wearing my light tan outfit?
I don't see you either. I know you're there, but I don't see you.
So we're both kind of invisible to each other and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So as you go forward and that baby's still playing with the toy, let's walk past that scene and walk deeper into the feathers and the angelic feel and the pink. And tell me, do you start to see the images of like a structure or something in your mind? What do you see? Just walk forward, you're invisible, you're walking forward as like this.
I don't see more from that. I feel like that was a page of a book. Like that was images from a page of a book. Like that was me.
Oh, okay.
But it was in a book. But now I don't see that anymore. Like the page.
So that kind of just turning, there's nothing there right now.
Right.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's look at that and say that's just kind of faded away. It was one scene of many that you've had. So let's go beyond that. And all of a sudden things are going to get dark again. Not in a fearful way. But it's kind of like relaxing, kind of like they're at now. Your mind's kind of empty, you're relaxed. You're drifting down deeper and deeper. And as you let that go, that page go off in the corner of your mind, as you're standing there looking straight ahead, you're feeling other images come to you, other times, other lives perhaps. And as you're drifting down deeper and deeper, I want you to begin to tell me what forms in your mind. What would you see if you had to go somewhere else?
I'm not really sure what I'm seeing yet. Um,
Okay. Well, let's drift down deeper and deeper. Maybe we don't see a life come to us immediately. Or maybe there's a time that you remember, that you want to kind of remember again. And not so much maybe of your, maybe, do you see your mother perhaps in this life, that she had a past life with you somewhere else? Do you feel her presence, or can you like go back to a memory where who was your mother in this life was maybe in another life with you, or your sister, or something like that? Now give me that, describe that to me. What do you see?
So I think she was my mother in this other life. We might be Inuit or something. It's cold. Like an Eskimo, I don't really know. I'm a baby and I'm wrapped in a big lot of fabric. I'm wrapped in like a lot of fabric to stay warm.
Wow. Okay. So now, when you look at your mother, you said possibly an Intuit, like an Eskimo Indian type, correct?
Yeah.
Do you see her? What do you like as a baby? Look outside. Do you feel cold all around you?
It's cold, yeah.
Do you live in a teepee or a house or a log structure? What kind of dwelling are you in as a baby? Do you remember?
It's not a teepee. It's more a rounded structure, but.
Could it be an igloo or like a yurt?
Might be a yurt.
Is it made out of animal skins or packed ice?
I think animal skins with ice on top of it, or maybe it was snow. It snowed on, I think it's animal skins more so.
Okay. Now, do you remember a fire inside the tent at one time or another? It was your okay. Now, do you see you're a baby? Do you feel your mother maybe this life was your mother in that life? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, how old do you see? Were you a boy or a girl in that life?
I'm a girl.
Okay. So you grew up in this life, and if you had to look at a map, and where would you put that dot? Where was this tribe located? You feel like Canada?
Yeah, it was either Canada or like Alaska, somewhere up there.
But you remember it being very cold.
It was cold, yeah.
Now let's go forward. You're about in your teens. You see yourself as a girl in your teens? All right, let's look at that. Let's say you're coming out. You're looking at the teepee or structure you're in. Is it like a rounded hut with animal skins on it? And that's what kept it warm. And what was your job at 13 or 15? What did you do? How did you help the family?
I collected and made things.
Okay, now what did you make? Clothes or what?
Something with animal skins that were like beautiful. I made some sort of beauty things with animal skins that were prized and people liked them.
Nice. And when you look around, what did you hunt? What did you live on? What kind of meat did you have?
Is that a buffalo? I don't know what that animal. I guess it's a buffalo, maybe. I'm not sure. There's animal. We ate. But now it's like a deerish thing. But I think I saw a buffalo too. But now I'm seeing some sort of like elk or deer or something.
So something big, but not. Did you ever see a polar bear, a white bear, or not?
I don't feel like that. I don't think they were white as much.
Okay, you weren't as far north as that. Do you think they were big and maybe brown colored? Sometimes grizzlies or like.
Yeah, like tannish brown. Felt like the animal colors were more tannish to brownish.
Okay. Now, did you ever see what?
Occasional white, but not as much.
Very few. Okay, so you're sort of on the border, maybe up there somewhere. Kind of where it's like super cold, but it's not crazy all the time. Or...
Nunavut? Is that a place in Canada? I think that's.
What's
like
it called?
Nunavut or something.
Hey, it could be, sure. Does it look like it started with an N, the town you were near, or what?
I think that's a bigger, something.
Was it, did you know what year it was roughly? What time period?
I don't.
Okay. And what language? You speak some Inuit, like Indian language, or what?
Yeah.
How would you say fish? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Okay, so none of the words pop in your mind. All right, do you see yourself making things, and what did your father do?
I think he was a hunter. I think he would hunt for things.
Okay, do you see, what did your mother do? besides have kids, obviously, and make stuff, I guess.
Yeah, she sort of helped with the making things and tending to the house and the community.
Do you have any brothers and sisters?
A brother.
Okay, now do you help your father more? Do you help hunt or what?
He was much younger, so he was still young when I was doing this stuff.
I see. Now, do you see yourself at 25? Are you still in the village?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you see yourself at 25. Did you get married in that life, or do you remember?
Yes.
All right, so you had a husband. How many children did you have?
3.
3. What were they, boys, girls?
Boy and 2 girls.
Gotcha. You saw that and you raised them.
Mm-hmm.
Now you saw your parents, I guess, getting older and older while you got older as well.
Mm-hmm.
You see their death? Do you know when your parents finally passed away?
Mm-hmm.
Was it a sad day in the village?
It was more like we knew it was coming and it's part of the life cycle. I think the difference in death with that, it's a life cycle, you know, it's inevitable, and so we, you know, it's not as big of a shock or sadness, I think.
So everybody kind of accepted the disciple was going to end and we returned.
Right.
Did you believe in just one God back then? Or what did you believe? Was it more of a nature thing, or what did you believe in?
Yeah, like there's just spirit. Everything's spirit.
Okay, now do you see yourself at 45 in that life?
Mm-hmm.
So you lived older. Did you live 55?
I don't think so.
So did you look at yourself in your last years? How old do you think you lived to?
49 or 50, perhaps.
So you might have made 50 right on the edge of it, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you look? Were you older now, wrinkled, tired?
Yeah, I had more hair, was a little grayish. Yeah, it's moving a little slower.
Gotcha. What did you die from? Do you remember?
Something happened with my ankle, and it maybe gangrene or something happened with my ankle, and it was an infection, and I died from that.
Wow. Okay. And where did you go at death? Do you see yourself coming out of your body?
Yeah, I sprung out pretty quickly and just sort of like dissipated.
Okay. And what did you dissipate in all the surrounding area?
Everything, yeah, it was just like soaked into everything.
Now, when you soaked into everything, did you still feel like you were a consciousness? Like you still were?
Yeah, my consciousness was everywhere.
Okay, it was everywhere. Did you watch your children continue to grow up as you were there as a consciousness?
Yeah, I'd say for probably a couple of years.
And then where did you go from there?
Up.
Okay, let's...
Or out, or just,
out.
There's like just like more expansion.
So you think it expanded beyond the trees in the village you're at?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you find yourself out in the stars in front of some other white building again, or what?
A white building?
Or did you find yourself when you consciously went away from the trees and became part of everything? Did you come back together somewhat, solidify, and go off somewhere else, or how'd that work?
Yeah, I guess eventually I went from being in an expanded state to a more contracted state.
Okay. Now in that contracted state, let's go to that moment. And what do you feel? Do you have a shape or what? Where do you go next?
Sort of half amorphous, half shape. Where am I? Can't really, it's sort of
Kind of hard to tell.
yeah.
Well, as you drift down deeper and deeper, I want you just to let go of everything. Just kind of float along. You're kind of floating like you're in that shape. You kind of remember, you're kind of just going back into that consciousness. Where you're just kind of floating along after that intuit life. You kind of come together out of the trees, kind of concentrate back into your soul again. So as your soul maybe comes back more in its entirety, do you feel that maybe you might have gone to another life after that?
I'm like a bird. Became a bird.
Okay, what kind of bird are you?
A bigger one. Either like an eagle or a hawk or some sort of something. That sort.
Now are you up flying in the skies?
Yeah.
And you got a pretty darn good view when you look down?
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to be flying around as like a hawk or an eagle? Do you feel it? Do you feel like a big hawk or just a big eagle, or it's hard to tell?
I think I'm a large hawk, but it feels fantastic.
So are you up really high? You can do
Mhm.
whatever you want, just float on the winds.
Yeah.
So how to describe that as a being a hawk? Did you have the consciousness of a hawk, or do you feel that you might have just put your conscience into that hawk and taken that life shape and had more of the mind and your soul back, and not so much a hawk mind? What do you feel? Were you aware as a hawk, or do you feel like you're just flying around looking for fish and bugs and animals?
I think I had a deeper intelligence, definitely. It wasn't just like, "Blah," I wasn't
So you weren't
like,
just a bird flying around looking for food.
right. I think there's a deeper intelligence.
Okay,
I
like
was,
maybe you
I
were
was wise.
you were wise and felt maybe you were aware that there was more than just this hawk body.
Right.
Okay. Did you believe in anything beyond your hawk body, or can you kind of see when you made that decision to become a hawk? Did you have to go to the other side and write it down somewhere and say, hey, I want to take a life as a hawk, or how did that work?
I think my consciousness moved from being expanded just into that hawk state.
You just went right into that hawk and
Mm-hmm.
thought, let's be a bird for a while because I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm free.
Spirit. Bird is spirit.
Yes. And it felt good to fly around as a bird.
Yeah.
And you felt sort of like you were still a soul and a spirit, but now you can fly around and experience a hawk.
Mm-hmm.
So how long did you do that for? Do you remember?
I'd say a couple years. I think I did that until my children. I did that until my children were grown, and I felt like, okay, my duty was done. So I sort of stayed in the same area.
Nice. So you flew around in a hawk kind of over the village and watching things and seeing
Mm-hmm.
that did they have kids too and families, your kids?
Yeah, I just sort of watched that for a while, yes.
Okay. So then you saw they were kind of everybody was seeming to be all right, they're having their life, and now I'm going to go off and learn new things myself. You just feel that hawk life.
Yeah,
You're ready to move on to something else.
Yeah, my consciousness just switched from being in the hawk to something else.
Do you feel what it became after a hawk? What do you feel? You had to drift down deeper and deeper. What do you think the next life might have been after that?
It feels like another animal, actually.
Okay. Okay.
It's like dark and underground.
Okay, an animal that's dark and underground. How big is it?
Like, I want to say like
You could have been the groundhog that just saw its shadow the other day.
yeah, Puxatawny Phil. It was some sort of like muskrat or some sort of something that's like I don't know all of those animals, but it's some sort of rodent type thing that lived in dirt.
Were you always curious about what it'd be like to be one? Is that why you did it? Did you want those
I
experiences?
think my consciousness wanted to be in the sky, and then it wanted to be in the dirt.
Like in Mother Earth again.
Yeah.
It's really
to
deep.
connect into the roots, sort of.
Interesting. So you did that for a while. How long were you this digging dark road? Do you remember roughly?
I don't think it was very long. Maybe a year or two.
Just enough to kind of feel it and see what it was like.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to embody that.
Isn't that neat?
Energy.
Okay, that's interesting. So as we go from that, we kind of did that life. We get a little tired of being underground. You're kind of maybe thinking of those wings and flying around. Or maybe another human form. What do you see as life after that?
There's a room with chairs.
Interesting. Okay, I want you to drift down. And as you're allowing yourself to relax, I want you to visualize the room. Kind of stand in the room. You still see me around somewhere out there?
It's like a council meeting or something.
I see. So it's a room with chairs, like a council meeting. And how many chairs? Is it on a stage, or where is it located, this council?
It's sort of in like a slight curved U shape. It might be on stage. I'm just looking straight at them.
All right, now are you here to review your life, or are you on this council? What do you see?
I'm on it.
So you're sitting on this council, and you're looking out. And as you look out, is there other beings out in front of you, or what?
Yeah, a couple, but some of it's just
People
like
in total?
energy.
Okay, just kind of energy, no real shapes. What is this council on? What do you think?
What is it on? It's like connection, uniting, something like putting things together. I'm just seeing like something coming together.
Okay. Now, how many are on this council, do you think? How many souls?
6, maybe?
So not a huge council. Now, is there anybody I'd recognize, any biblical characters, or anybody that I might say, hey, I know them from the Bible or whatever? Or is it just other beings from all over? What is it?
It's all different beings from different like star systems and yeah, all sorts of different things.
Okay, now what do you do on this council again? What's their function?
I think it's like connecting differences of different, I guess, star systems and beings, finding connection and working together, something like that.
Okay, so you're working together. Now, is this council in charge of what? In charge of other star systems? Is it a certain region in space, or what is it? How encompassing is this council? Does it have its own little region, or how's that work?
It's a bunch of different people from different planets and stuff.
So it's pulling in their planets as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really feels just sort of like an alliance. It's an alliance of some sort.
Oh, okay. What would be the name of this council? Do you have a name? You had to see something in your mind. What does it feel like?
I can't get the name. The chairs are purple.
Isn't that nice?
I can give you
Are
that.
most of them pretty evolved souls on this council, or what?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Seems like it.
Now let's sit at that council. You're on this council. You're sitting up there. There's how many, would you say 6 roughly chairs up there, or what?
I think I might be either 6 or 7, but yeah.
So not a large council.
No, it's not.
Okay, now let's say everybody's at the council and you're sitting there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do that? Look around. What do the beings look like that are sitting? Are they only energy in these chairs, or what do they look like?
All different. I feel like they're sort of like a bird-like being. It's blue. It's not a bird.
Okay.
It's a bird-like being, alien, not from Earth, not like an animal.
Okay.
Another one that just feels like it's kind of just like fizzy energy. I see like a tube of light. I don't really see a being.
Okay. Any other ones you might remember or see?
I can't really tell it's sort of foggy. It's hard to see it all.
So you're on this council, you're making some decisions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it sounds interesting. It sounds like a pretty good situation. There's other star systems.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see, is there any beings from Pleiades or Sirius? Do you see any?
Definitely Palladian.
Okay. Anybody from Syrian star system?
No, that doesn't. I
Okay.
feel more Pleiadian than Syrian.
So a lot of Palladian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any Arcturan? Or any from Arcturus? Does that
That
name sound
feels
familiar?
that I feel some good energy there.
Okay, so you feel like maybe that's a possibility. 1 or 2 might be from
Mm-hmm.
there. Okay. But they're all a pretty evolved species. So the chairs are purple. Are they all very evolved, or what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they are pretty.
Pretty up there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe not like the highest, but they're not low on the totem pole.
Right, so you feel you enjoy this council? You have like helping out on it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, as you enjoy the council, and as we're standing there, I want us to kind of count down to 3 to 2 to 1 and feel yourself kind of remembering all the images of that Spanish life. You can feel the pain leaving your hip for being, that in Spain. Okay? You're going to forgive your father in that life in Spain as a guard. You're going to see your mother in your Intuit life kind of helping you as a baby. Kind of, even helping you this life when you were young. And you kind of feel maybe Kevin in there in that life up in New England or Maine, where you met that indigenous tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you just to relax as you're drifting down deeper and deeper. And as all those memories flow back in your mind, the pain in your legs fading away. Because now you can feel, when you think about the pain, you can feel that golden light healing. And the more you see that seed in your mind, I want you to begin the process of healing that seed in that time. And that you were right, they didn't know what they were doing, just like Jesus on the cross, you know. They don't know what they're doing, put me up here. And you're going to feel that about your Father. You got to just kind of forgive it and open up that wall you've created in this life. Because He is trying to make it up, I think, by being your Father in this life. And as you mentioned, He really hasn't given you any reason not to trust Him in this life, right? Mm-hmm. So try to remember that when He tells you something, and just realize He's just speaking as a father to you, not as. Don't see that guard image in your mind. Okay, can you work on that? Mm-hmm. Anyway, just kind of let that go away. Just another life. And as you drift down deeper and deeper, I want to see if we can bring any angels or Jesus in the room with us, or Mother Mary. Can we do that? Mm-hmm. All right, I want you to see and let me know when any archangels or Jesus or Mary enter your room. Say when you feel their presence.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Jesus is here.
Okay, good. Now, what does He look like to you? Does He look like He always does? You see him in pictures, or how do you picture Him?
His face is kind of blurry, but I mean, he just the essence. You just know it's Him.
So you can feel that energy of Jesus. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's say He leans down and puts His hand on your hand. Mm-hmm. Which hand is He touching of yours?
My left hand.
Now describe what that feels like.
Warmth right into my heart.
So you can feel
Smiling.
that going right to your heart.
Yeah.
And it feels good to know He's around, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. You can just call Him in anytime you want. What about Archangel Michael? Can we bring him in? Mm-hmm. And what does he have to say it to you in your current life? How does he think you're doing? If you had to telepathically tell us.
He says I'm doing good. Yeah.
Good. So he's happy with you in this life. Good.
Yeah.
And Mother Mary, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Good. So she's happy with where you're going. Right?
Yeah.
Feel pretty good?
Yeah, I mean they're all around and supporting me, but I mean they. Yeah, I just need to slow down.
And they like you, okay, because that's how you feel too.
Yeah.
How you feel that intuitively, and maybe.
Yeah.
Do you feel like maybe you brought some gifts also into this life from other lives, like? Why do you see a life, particularly that Reiki? Why you like Reiki or crystals and things? Or animals. I mean, does you just feel from all these lives you've had that have built up to now, and they know that?
Yeah.
Do they feel you're ready to share more Reiki skills with others? And
not so much Reiki, but just more intuitive healing gifts, but not necessarily the Reiki per se, just some sort of healing.
So whatever they need, whatever works to help out, and intuitively know what that might be. Okay, very good. So that's interesting. Now we had that one question. Let's see what Michael says. Does he see that I might have been a father in your past life? Or is that, he does feel that?
I think so.
All right. What life would that have been, do you think? What do you see? Is there any particular life, or should we explore that another time?
I think I'm a younger boy. Where is this? Maybe it's in like Europe somewhere. I don't really know.
Okay. So it might feel like Europe. And what did I do there? What do you see? What did I do as your father? Can you remember?
I think you were kind of like a someone that would go around. You were like a wise man, but it wasn't like that. But it was more rural, maybe like Celtic. I don't really know where this is, but you were some sort of like healer, wise man that you would go around and.
Sort of like a traveling, sage?
A traveling mystic sage, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, did I have like a brown outfit on or robe or whatever?
Yeah, I think so. I can't really see the color right now, but that feels right.
Okay, so I'd go around and help people in villages and teach them things.
And I was sort of like your sidekick son.
Isn't that neat? So you learned some things along the road as well,
right?
About what you would listen to me talk to other people.
Yeah.
Did it seem...
And I had my own stuff, and so like you knew most of the stuff, but you would bounce off of me for things as well.
For ideas and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Now, did you see that... so you would hear the stories and had your own ideas because you still had some psychic skills or intuitive abilities.
Yeah.
Now, what time period does this look like? Ancient?
But I mean, we were wearing like a... It's old. It's not any time recently, that's for sure.
I see. So it was back 1300s, 1200s, earlier?
Yeah, I don't know the time period.
But it was before the Black Plague, you think?
Yeah, my thoughts are yes.
Like we didn't walk around villages that were half dead, right?
No. Right, this felt like it was like a heightened spiritual time. Like I almost want to say like Merlin or something. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you what. Think about this.
Yeah.
And I've been told this, and this probably won't end up on the tape, obviously. But I was told that I was what they call an immortal back in the day. I was like a wizard, not a wizard, but I worked with Merlin. I was a highlander.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
and
that feels good.
I had longer hair, and I'd walk around with a sword also.
You totally have long hair.
Did I have a sword as well back then?
I mean, your robe thing might cover it, but I think you do.
Did I seem like I had magic?
Yeah, I mean, you were like a wizard.
Okay.
You know?
Well, let's see. We'll have to explore this in greater depth because I have been told that I was a Highlander with Michelle Whitedove. That was the one that...
what is a Highlander? I don't know what a
Highlander is. You live up. You report into the Druids and the Celtics.
Yeah. Okay. This is definitely that. Yeah.
And I'd go to Stonehenge and take people to the rocks that were in the
because this feels like Avalon-y, you know?
Okay.
Like, so that's what. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And I reported to like Druids, and I couldn't die. Really, I was immortal almost in a sense. The only thing I could take me out was a wizard or black magic. Does that feel kind of like around?
Wait, what did you say about the black man?
I said the only thing that could take me out was another Highlander or another with a sword like I did. Or
yeah, I mean,
or black magic.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, pretty cool. This is cool.
So let's go to that memory. And you're kind of drifting back down deeper and deeper. It's sort of that Celtic Druid time.
Yeah.
You're going along. I'm taking you around as my son. Do you see yourself traveling along at like 9, 10, 11, 12?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have the ability. I think I became something like that as well.
Good. So after I kind of moved on, do you see how I died? Take me to my death. Do you see that?
It sort of feels like you just dissipated.
Like I just left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was told that, that would just be to say, hey, Merlin's gone, I'm leaving. Was it Merlin gone at this time? Do you remember? It was like the days of magic almost over.
I think it was like the ending of the time of that, like, because it was almost like a magical renaissance or something, you know? So
as I got to the end of the period, dissipated or left.
Right.
You stayed, and did you see it kind of changing away from the time of magic?
I think people fought it. There was more fear. People were coming in and weren't okay with it or something.
Okay. Almost like you were a witch almost, but you're white, like a white witch or a sorcerer. Mm-hmm. So you knew a lot of things from our travels and dealing with other people.
Yeah, and I would like heal and intuit and do sort of. Yeah.
So as you go forward in that life, I want you to picture yourself. Did you see me alive 50, 60, 70, or you're not sure? Like
I would say 70 feels like a no.
Okay, so maybe 60 somewhere, maybe. And I just kind of left, and you were on your own at 30 or 40.
Yeah, I think we like talked about it, and you were like, I'm passing the baton on or something along those lines. You know, I'm ready to.
And I was disappearing.
Yeah, you just disappeared, kind of. But it wasn't like a shock to me. It wasn't.
So I told you I was going to leave, basically.
Right.
Kind of like a send out of that situation almost. Okay.
Yeah.
So you stayed and continue healing. How old do you see yourself?
This sword, I'm seeing this sword, and it has like a red ruby. There's some sort of like red ruby stone or something on it.
Okay, now I had to give you my sword?
Yes, you did.
Good. So you carried that sword.
Yeah.
And it had like powers, you think?
Yeah, it was cool. But it felt like two sides to it. There was like the red ruby side. There was like a lighter and a darker side to it or something.
Interesting. So you saw sort of that ruby and that look. And you sort of carried that sword. You see yourself carrying it through the land. So you see yourself talking to Celtics or Druids back then?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had people, I sort of like oversaw people because of you, you know, it was sort of, I guess, druid nepotism or what.
So that some of the ones I dealt with knew you coming, following me. You
Right,
sort of took
right.
over the reins, and
Exactly.
you would deal with these other places after I was gone.
Which I do. I mean, switching gears for a second, but I had an Akashic reading years and years ago, and I remember something along the lines of being in charge of druids or something like that.
Okay.
So it's funny. Okay, that's all.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So you can see that time period. It was it was probably a very enlightening time period. for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Do you
But
feel-
but it's enlightening. But like the images are all like darker, kind of, which is like it's just sort of like darker, earthy. But it was there was a
More
lot
like
of magic.
Yeah, more like just a period of magic.
Totally.
In that wild, so things aren't always super clear. It's almost like a dark illusion that just keeps floating around. But you knew, did you believe you were immortal then, or did you believe your father was immortal at that stage, or not?
I don't think I was as immortal as you were.
But you felt like I could just disappear.
Yeah.
And I had the magic. Did you ever see me disappear in front of you? Or levitate? Or did I do something?
Levitate, yes. The disappearing, I mean, when you died, I guess, yeah.
But you didn't see me like walk straight ahead and disappear in front of you?
Into mist, perhaps.
Yeah, or mist or into a tree even or something. Okay, so you saw I did have magical gifts.
Oh, yeah, there was there was a lot of magic going down.
Okay. Now, did I ever take you to meet Merlin? Do you remember?
I mean, I feel warm and fuzzy with that one, so yeah,
Okay,
I
maybe
think
you
so.
were
Like, he
very-
was like a big, you know, an uncle or something.
He was like a
kind of.
hero back then. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like the big guy. Now, did I
Yeah.
ever take you to meet King Arthur or any of that king group?
I mean,
Or-
that feels good. I think there was definitely something with Avalon, that whole area.
Okay, so a magical time, a beautiful time. Was there
Yeah.
any creatures that would be like we don't know today that you would see? Like, did you believe in fairy beings or gnomes or?
So immediately when you said that,
Shapeshifters.
I saw some sort of like deer-like creature that was not normal, like maybe something. But yes, there's definitely fairies and gnomes and elementals.
Wow.
And
Okay. Now, was there any really dark magic witches that we had to watch out for, or do we have like protective omelets I would give you to wear, like
an amulet.
Yeah, like an
Yeah.
amulet or something, not an omelet, but an amulet. I feed you protective omelets and eggs.
Egg white.
Yeah, so that was healthy back then. I knew about that ahead of time. So did you feel any, anything like that? Did you feel like there was a time of magic, it was a time of mystery, and you enjoyed going around and learning all these things, and I was a pretty cool dad.
Totally, yeah, it was cool. It was a good life.
Yeah. Now, where was the wife? Did she pass away or die, or where was mother? What do you remember? Or did I just show up and you crawled out of the woods and there you were? Or did I adopt you and you weren't really my blood, or you don't remember?
It sort of feels like she was maybe part of like the king's court or something, but it was like you couldn't really.
Wouldn't surprise me. Go ahead.
It wouldn't surprise me either.
So you think I might have had a relationship
Like
with
I might have
somebody?
been an illegitimate child for sure.
Well, there's a lot of those back then, I'm sure. Do you think that I maybe had an affair with somebody that was a...
Definitely, that's what it feels like.
Okay. And did I meet her as coming in and showing off some magic to the royal family or what?
Yeah, I mean,
And they just knew I was a badass. And I just showed up and did what I wanted. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I mean, in other words, did I kind of come into this situation?
Yeah, I mean, people were impressed with your skills, definitely.
Right, so I wooed a few women, I presume. Is that kind of what you feel?
Yeah.
Something like that. And then you were born. And then what happened to her? Did she have to stay in the palace? I just left.
Yeah, like it.
I just left and took you with me, or what?
Right, because I was not part of like the royal family, so.
And did I kind of know that I was special back then, in the sense that, I mean, obviously, if I'm doing some magic and levitating.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
I knew who I was.
I think the
basically.
ego's been there.
But you think I also knew who I was?
Yeah.
Like I was very wise and knew who I was.
Yeah.
And went around and tried to teach people.
I mean, I think you did foolish things sometimes, but like that's life too.
Right.
But no, you were definitely very wise, and you had a lot of skills, and people
So
were
you thought
impressed with that.
you thought what? Going to the castle and seeing some of these women might not have been my smartest move.
Right. Yeah,
There's
that
just
could have been your like Achilles heel.
my
kind of
weakness
thing.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's very interesting. So you think you maybe were born illegitimately? See, I took you out in the dark of night one time and hustled you away.
Mm-hmm.
And then what, gave you like a midwife to raise you for a while I continued my journeys and you were young?
Yeah, like
And then
that feels
eventually-
about right. Like not till I didn't start being like following you until I was at least 5 or 7 or something like that.
So then I might take you locally with me, but not too far away.
Yeah, like you would check in on you were around, but someone else raised me in the beginning.
Okay. Now, and it was somebody that I knew that I could trust, maybe just somebody in the village or some village.
Right.
Okay. Very interesting. So that seems like a neat life to even explore farther down the line. And let's look at Merlin.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when you might have had a chance to meet him, if it was Merlin or just a wizard of some sort? What do you remember?
I felt like I was young, but yeah, really, I feel giddy like thinking about him. Like he was pretty cool.
Okay, and you knew he was powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
I think he helped to teach me, like he would like wink, he'd like give me a wink, like, you know, like a little wink in his eye. He helped to teach me.
he was a pretty good guy too.
Yeah.
And you liked him.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like an older uncle.
Totally.
Good. And what about, did you meet any other women, love conquest? I might have having that life later on when you're in your teens or...
For you?
Yeah. How did that work out as I went into my age of 65?
Typical Dave questions.
Well, no, I'm just curious. Did I have a lot of relationships all through the years?
Yeah, I think you did. I think you, like, kind of...
Did I not settle down with one person?
Yeah, I don't think you settled down with anyone.
Okay. So just sort of a wandering spirit soul, and whoever caught my fancy and we liked each other, that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, you might have had multiple things going on with different people, but nothing was, like... You weren't betrothed to anyone.
Okay. And you're okay with that because you just figured, hey, he's a magician, he's a Highlander maybe. What do you expect?
I mean, it was just sort of
the way the times for a guy like me.
Yeah, and we were kind of off the cuff, you know. We weren't like in the royal we weren't like a normal villager. We weren't in the royal family, so it was like whatever.
So it's hard to fit into some culture.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were more just sort of kind of rambling along between all different cultures.
Right. But I mean, we were like respected and everything, but
Right.
we were just sort of, yeah.
So we'd show up and people knew who we were coming from whatever distance. They knew we talked to the druids. They knew that we were, did they know that I was I quite a warrior then with a sword?
Ooh, that was interesting. I saw you take the sword and the end, not the sharp end, but the handle. You're like holding it in the middle, like below where it would cut you kind of, and you just like, or maybe you had a staff too, I don't know, but if it's not the sword, but you like sunk it into the earth almost, and like this circle of red energy, or like red and blue, one side's blue, one side's red, and they meet in the middle, like encircle the land or something. That was
like
cool.
It radiate out from the land from where I was?
Yeah, like, well, it was sort of like maybe protection or something, but you could do cool stuff. You had some cool stuff.
So kind of look at that.
Mm-hmm.
How far off the ground could that you saw me levitate? What was the highest I got off the ground?
I mean, when you say it, I'm mostly seeing a couple inches, not super tall. You could probably, you can definitely go taller, but you normally didn't go super, super tall.
Well, I don't mean my height. I just mean how far would you see me lift off the ground? Just a little bit?
Yeah, like a couple inches or so.
Okay.
Normally wouldn't be super
Right.
intense,
Did you ever
but you could go up to treetops or something like that.
Like rise all the way up?
Right, so you could oversee what's going on.
And look down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you ever see me take an animal shape, or you thought maybe I did, like a shape like an eagle and took off in the air and came back, or not? Did I ever shapeshift?
It wasn't eagle. I don't feel eagle as much as I feel like a deer or something that can run, like some sort of animal that was like a stag or something like that, more so.
Okay, you don't see a big black bear or a...
a bear too. Yeah, that could be something too.
So I might have turned a bear. What about a jungle cat of some sort?
That could be possible. That felt like that.
So you kind of knew intuitively that I could shapeshift.
Yeah.
Okay, that was kind of accepted as part of the magic of the time.
Yeah.
Like that was common knowledge for certain people.
Right.
Interesting. Did you ever see any witches or meet any white witches or anybody in the forest that just had crazy powers?
I think the lady you left me with definitely had a lot of powers.
Did she
when I was
help
little.
teach you when you were little a little bit?
Yeah, like she would definitely. She would like sing. Ooh, she would do like some sort of singing, prayer, healing things, and she would teach me about different things when she was little too.
So that's neat.
I think actually she might have taught you, or there's something with you and her teaching too. Like she must have been around for a while, and she was a protector witch person.
So she might have been just coming back and back and back as that type of energy right there in the forest, maybe.
Yeah.
Like reincarnating back into that same like soul species.
Yeah, like she was just like a staple. She was like a pillar of something there. She was really
powerful too.
Yeah.
An old soul. So I can relate to her fairly easily, and we got along good. And I knew I could trust her to raise you.
Right.
And she taught you a lot of early stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that interesting? So try to describe the sword. How long was it roughly? Give or take. 5 feet, 4 feet.
Oh wow! I mean, I guess you know what? Maybe 4 feet.
How tall did I look?
You were probably you were taller.
Taller than average.
I would say at least 6 feet. I don't imagine. I mean, yeah, I would say at least 6 feet probably.
So I was taller than most of the villagers.
Mm-hmm.
Was I strong?
Yeah.
So was I considered, because I was told that I'd have this look, and if I gave you that look, you knew not to mess with me.
You didn't. Yeah, people knew.
They just knew not to get too crazy. Okay. But we had fun. It was a fun life, and I was a good father, considering my lifestyle.
Yeah. You're definitely like a drifter, but that was the way it was.
That's part of it. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Now, is that the only life you can see? We kind of call on that, and maybe need to see Bodhi expand on that herself.
Yeah, there might have been other stuff. Like, I'm feeling like there might be other things. Oh, I just saw dolphins. I don't know. But,
that I might have been a dolphin at one time, too. Who knows?
Possibly. Or the dolphins are swimming around something else, but I don't know. Yeah, there might be other things.
Well, that'd be a neat thing to explore, but all in all, the angels and archangels and Mother Mary and Jesus think you're doing pretty well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, things are moving right along.
Yeah.
You just want you to slow down a little bit, take a breath. Go back and listen to this recording.
Ask him how to fix my life force, how to help heal my life force energy.
Your life force? Okay,
yeah,
let's ask Michael. Like you now feel drained, and let's see if Michael or Jesus and Mother Mary's are all kind of hovering around you, and they each got their hand on you and your shoulders. You can feel their energy coming in. Are they saying, hey, if you want to heal your life force, let us come to you?
Yeah, they're like...
And feel our energy and recharge on our energy. Are they telling you that?
Yeah, I mean, and they're doing it right now.
Right.
Like,
so they're
tingling.
rebuilding. Good. So let them rebuild your energy. And now at night, when you listen to the recording a couple of times, share it with Kevin if you want and others. And then kind of feel like when you're later, you can feel those images of that magic when you carried that sword. And you're immortal. You learned a lot of magical things in that life. Go back and try to remember the scenes from that life, because they'll get clearer and clearer for you. Mm-hmm. It's where you'll see some of the healings you might have did on the road. When I disappeared at 65 or around there, where you continued going on and doing things and meeting with these councils.
Right.
Go and see what that brings up for you and see how that goes for you.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any... excuse me. Is there any words that Jesus or Michael or Mother Mary have? Do they say when you're feeling down, just picture us, lay there, let them touch your hands, hold each hand while they're sitting there? What I do, is I'll sit there and visualize, believe it or not, while I'm laying there. I do it often. Mother Mary's holding my left hand, and Jesus sitting over on the right side of the bed holding my right hand. And I have Archangel Michael standing behind me. And Raphael. And just look at their energy and allow yourself just to feel it. So as we count down from 3 to 1, I want you to feel that energy coming in, recharge you, feeling your heart filling up, feeling all the pain dissipating from your leg, knowing that you can now visualize that scene and you feel the pain just fading away, healing yourself. Seeing the limp disappear, knowing that was a life and there's no reason you need to carry that pain forward now. So let that all dissipate. Any pain in the jaw from, if you had an accident, I think you remembered one time you thought maybe you were shot in the face or something with a cannonball. Maybe just feel that all going away. And when you call them in, if your back is hurting or your legs hurting or your jaw, or you feel stressed or anxious or just darn soul tired, Allow yourself to lay down. Find a couch, maybe get 10 minutes to yourself. And just lay back and just allow them to hold your hand while you're laying there. And visualize the energy holding your hand. Michael's standing behind you, Raphael. And they're just letting you allow to recharge your battery and visualize your body. And I was told this, visualize Jesus standing behind you and pouring a pitcher of white light right down through your crown chakra.
That's exactly what I was feeling, is that they were just like pouring white light down through my head the whole time.
And yes, so I had the same, that's what they told me to do. Visualize the white light coming down through you, filling up your legs and your calves and your chin and your stomach, your shoulders, all arms, all the way up to the top of your head, that white light. And just lay there like you drank the white light Pepto-Bismol or whatever elixir, and you're laying there and you just feel all that red, whether it's in your mind, the darkness, the tiredness, the soul tiredness. You want to feel all that dissipate. You're going to feel your body regenerate. You're not going to think about your job. You're not going to think about anything. No money. You're just going to visualize and feel that soul, that immortal self, laying there and recharging with this white light as you feel it being poured on you. You know, Jesus, Raphael, Mary, Michael, any of them. And you feel your whole body kind of immersed in this white, golden, healing light. And see all the pain disappear, then kind of breathe in and sit back. Let it seem fade of them being there with you. Just allow yourself to sit there. But you still feel that white light in you.
Yeah.
And put your legs over the side of the bed when you get up in the morning. Get a couple of deep breaths, and then just, start your day. But feel that white light and visualize it in your mind, and visualize the lives you've had as a psychic as being around, wizards, mystics, and other past lives, and bring all that forward into this life. Especially that Spanish life where you felt your leg hurt. Take away that pain. Start to visualize that wall with your dad in this life, those cinder blocks coming down, to where you can see across the cinder blocks. You don't have to take the whole wall down at once. Leave it halfway up so at least you can talk to them. You're not talking to a wall. And as you feel more comfortable, as years go on, take another brick, take another cinder block off that wall.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
I have a tendency of people's energy getting stuck to me, or because I'm empathic, and then I feel everyone's energy. Yep.
What you want to do is that, you want to protect yourself, and I think Bodhi was told us as well. What you want to visualize is going forward now. When you do that white energy, have Jesus all of it. Before you get up in the morning, you're going to visualize almost like your body's being zipped into this skin, this golden skin. You want to visualize that around your hands, all the way up your whole body, where it's a stretching golden skin that's holding the white light in, so it doesn't drain out. And you're going to feel that skin, that golden skin, is now going to be like a Teflon coating, to where others' energy cannot stick to it because it radiates out. This golden skin will radiate like a golden light all around it, like an aura. And it will not be able to touch you. It'll be sticking out from your skin about at least 3 or 4 or 5 inches. As you do this more and more, you visualize that golden light, that auric skin on you, radiate out farther and farther and farther. It goes out 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, 10 feet, to where no negative energy can touch you again. You're just a glowing sun. And you want to be in the middle of this ball of light. So you want to extend it first to where you can visualize the white light. You've accepted it all from the archangels and divine beings. You have that inside. You're going to cover that with this golden skin. And then you're going to visualize yourself, your heart pumping out this golden and white light, this energy inside you. And it's going to extend this field around your golden skin, every inch of it. So nothing is exposed. Your auric field is not exposed. So when you feel negative things come toward you in the future, you want to visualize that you have like this protective electromagnetic shield on, to where the energy can't quite get to you. And you're going to realize they're in an illusion, but they're not quite aware of the things you know. They don't know how to protect their energy. You know how to protect yours. So don't allow negative energies to come to you. If it's some boss having a bad day, sit back, look through the eyes of that young wise boy that practiced mysticism, that learned from that lady back in the 1300s or whatever it was, 1200s, 1100s, whatever. remember this, what she told you about protection, and visualize around your neck. We'll pull one around your neck now. I've done it for everyone. You're going to visualize Mother Mary here in the room now. Okay? She's here right now, as you know. She's already done it for me and gave me one. Long time. You want to visualize a gold amulet around your neck. And it's going to be almost a circle. And it's going to be like a disc. And it's going to be emanating this white light out of this disc. And nobody can see it. It's going to be around your neck, and it's going to emanate out this white protective energy. It's going to evaporate all around you. Not only the golden light, the internal, what you have. But this, you're going to now visualize this amulet of white energy. It's like a protective amulet that's on your neck. Can you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And visualize Mother Mary putting that over your neck right now. And ask her, and see what she says in her mind. Did she give me one that I've shared the energy off mine with others? Did she share that information with you or not?
Yeah, and you gave me one before too, but it's always nice to have a boost.
Well, it is nice to know it's there and
Yeah.
have it re-energized and know that it is there. So when you feel negative energy coming, you want to allow yourself just to repel it.
Okay.
It's not going to touch you. It's going to be like, picture water coming off a duck's back. It's just flowing back into some energy pool off of you. It's not touching you. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I think we'll count up from 1 to 3, and you're getting more and more awake. Feel yourself rising up more and more.